Hello and welcome back to another video today here again on Forza Horizon 5 to take a look at what I think is probably the most exciting thing about the most recent update 17, which is the update to Event Lab including 57 new car park themed props. Obviously there is one new car, the Nissan Z, which I'll be taking a look at when it comes out, but as soon as the update is live, which it is now, so if you haven't updated, make sure you go and install your update. The new props for Event Lab are already here. So I'm going to be using the recently added stadium build stub because there's a nice flat surface in the stadium that we can potentially construct a car park, or maybe I'll go and edit my city that's in there in a minute. But quickly, if you want to find these new props, you go into Event Lab as usual, pick your car, and they'll be under a new tab. So we go on route options and blueprint builder and then blueprint library, which is that. We've got all the usual tabs. We've got the Hot Wheels, the Horizon history, which was the previous massive update, and then next to that we have car park, which, if I remember correctly, was 57 new props, which are all of these. So before I start constructing everything, I've placed one of every piece out here in the stadium to give you a quick overview of what there is. So firstly we have this, well, entrance to the car park basically, which is available in all of the colours here. This is the only thing I've placed in every colour. Everything else is also available in all of these colours. So you'll also notice all of these are snappable, which I'll get to in a minute when I start trying to construct something. So you've got all of these entrances, then you've got a piece of floor essentially, a floor with a wall, a floor with a corner wall, a barrier, a tall wall, a not so tall wall, a buildingy bit, a pillar, some support bars, spirally bits. So there's 3 different types of spirally bit. I think there's a one that goes on the floor, one that goes in the middle, and one that goes to a top level. Then we have things you can hang from the ceiling, like these lights and pipes. We have a more traditional straight ramp if you don't want a twisty wiggly one. And then we have all of these decoration-y bits. So we have a paying machine, we have an electric car charger, because of course we do. We have 3 different sizes of speed bump, a small one, medium one, and large. We have a bollardy thing, one of these hinged bollardy things. We have several versions of the stripes, so we have a single parking space stripe, we have a double, and we have a quadruple. Then we have electric car only parking spaces and a sign. A hatched space that you're not supposed to park in, which I've managed to not put on the ground. A selection of walkways, again available in various colours, these, not just the red. 2 lengths of zebra crossing, a man walking across a road, some more arrows, which is good to see, because we didn't really have enough of those, and, well, a bumblebee line. As well as some entrance signs, directional signs, and, of course, signs for every nivel of the car park, from 1 to 8. So they're assuming you're not going to build anything more than 8 stories. Right, yeah. I think we can do better than that. Anyway, that's an overview of the props. I'll quickly show you what I mean about them snapping together. Then I'm going to go and see what I can build. So this is supposed to be on ground level. So if we put that there, then I will show you how this works. So you basically put that there. And then we should be able to just snap this to it as well. I think I've done it wrong, because that shouldn't be there. That should be snaps to there. There we go. Then we should be able to take the other one, which I think I just deleted. Anyway, as an example, let's take this. No, I do need the other one. Anyway, you saw how that snapped together nicely. Then you can obviously do similar things with these if we just duplicate it. We kind of want it that way. So you see how it works. You can basically snap pieces together, and then if we take one of these, for example, you've got a nice entrancey bit. So yeah, it is really good to see that we've got some more snappable props, because previously we only really had the Hot Wheels track and a few pipes and things. But there we go. Those are all, I think, 57 was the number they gave, new props, some of which are available in multiple colours. So, let's see what we can make. So, after a little while, I've managed to build this. I opted for the sort of straight ramps rather than the twisty ones. I might try something with those in a minute, because this has kind of failed a little bit. So I built the car park first, then realised a lot of these stripes and things won't kind of snap where you want them, unless you're on the lower layer. So I think one top tip if you're building a car park, if you're actually going to use these for what they're sort of intended for, is to finish one floor before you start building upwards. Otherwise things don't go where you want them. One thing I did find irritating is a few things don't snap. So like these building bits, you can't snap to anything. These machines, you can't snap to anything. Any of the painted lines, apart from the parking space ones themselves, you can't snap. So it means some things are still very awkward to place. And the other problem is that the snapping tool, if we just move apart for a minute, say I delete this part, the snapping tool is about as dim-witted as it possibly could be. So if you take a piece of corner, for example, now it's going to work. Okay, let's just start over here. Say I want to duplicate this and extend this. It turns round, so then you turn it. Okay, it works. Again. So, yeah, instead of just sort of snapping, it wants to go like that. The other thing I noticed is that once you'd snapped a few things together, so this is all snapped together, so you'd think everything would line up perfectly. So I started at this end where everything does. If you look, this is a nice smooth wall, but by the time I've snapped a few things together and got to the other end, it doesn't line up anymore. So, yeah, it's brilliant to have some more, well, many more props that snap together, but one, quite a lot of them don't, and two, the ones that do don't do a very good or logical job of it. Anyway, I'm going to drive to the top of this and have a quick drive around, see what it's like in an actual vehicle. Right then, I know this car park's in a very random place. I just wanted to show something that you could do. Oh, that's actually put itself there. So, yeah, and where the floor's like that and it's shimmering, I think it's because some tiles are overlapping. I ended up placing more than I meant to. But you might note how smooth this flooring is. So I'm thinking, well, it might not work very well for actually building car parks. If I was to build a track surface out of these pieces, it would be perfectly smooth every time without me having to line stuff up. Anyway, the car park, as you can see, sort of goes like this. I was going to have the ramps going sort of up here rather than all the way around, but I found it's better to keep every level identical. Then it's easier to copy and paste props upwards. If you see what I mean, to the layer above, it seemed to snap more happily where I wanted it then. But yeah, like here, I wanted really another row of spaces like this, just behind here. A bit like I've done over here, look. So that they're back to back. But it wasn't liking me doing that for some reason. Also noticed one lot of these look like they're... No, they're not slightly hovering, that's my imagination. So those, yeah, went pretty well. This walkway thing, you have to line up manually, because for some reason they thought that didn't need to snap. These machines don't snap, these bollardy things don't snap to anything. Presume they're destructible, yeah. So yeah, the few bits that don't snap are a little bit irritating, and the snappable objects. Anyway, it's a lot better than having to manually line up platforms, so it will still save a lot of time if you're trying to build a nice flat surface, but yeah. I might try something with the spirally ramps, and then another day I might try building a track or something out of these, because I think we might be able to build a The other thing is the walls, theoretically, on these will snap together, so they'll be smooth, so you'll hit them, but there won't be any sticking out bits that get your car sort of Forza physicsed. It should react more like a proper wall. Right, let's see what else we can make quickly. So I had a little bit more luck with building one with the curved ramps and knowing kind of the process to do it, but yeah, I'm not going to bother detailing the top layer. It's just too irritating. Like, the lights I did on the first level, just about, but they just won't snap to the... The problem is there's so many of these snap node things that everything just... I'll show you. So I'm trying to make this a nice straight line of lights along here. Every time it clicks like that, it's snapping to a node, but it just isn't... I can't see where it is. It's just really stupid. Like this top layer, for example, I was trying to put a side on them. First of all, you can never select the right thing. It selects the stripes instead of the layer. Then when it comes up here, it's the wrong way round. See what I mean? This is how long it takes to place. So then you give up cloning it and you think, right, I'll just place a piece. Okay, it's working now. Or I'll copy that. Right, yeah. Of course it's going to flip round. Why is it not automatic that the wall is where the side the wall is? So yeah, they're just impossible to use, these tools. Which means probably the most difficult thing to build with the car park props, ironically, is probably a car park. Because down here, if we just get rid of the nodes for a minute so you can see what I've done, I've had a bit of a play about to kind of show you what I was thinking when I said you could build a track out of these. So if you wanted to, obviously these snap together so you can make a nice straight. Then I've made a little chicane here. I was kind of trying to replicate Monza. So we've got turn 1 and then Curva Grande starting here. Just to play about and show you how it would work. So in straight lines it works a bit. The trouble is, if you start trying to do diagonals and things overlap, you get this irritating shimmering. But yeah, you could theoretically make a diagonal. Or you just put lots of bits together in straight lines, then you make a diagonal out of walling. But then you can't have the nice straight walling. Anyway, I think basically the only thing I'm going to use is this surface. Just the flat surface to make tracks. And then you can see an imaginative use of the curbing. Well, not curbing. Speed bumps to make curbing. I'm not sure how it's going to work as curbing like that, but as like sausage curbs to stop you cutting a corner completely. It could work kind of quite well. So my next project probably is going to be to try and build a racetrack out of these. I'm just going to see how this works in the car. With that and that. But yeah, I'm not going to attempt to build a car park again, I don't think. It's just too irritating. But yeah, hopefully this racetracky bit, ignore that bit, works okay, because I would potentially like to... Okay, these are maybe a bit... These are the medium-sized one. There is a... Yeah, I'm definitely not using the yellow ones. I felt like they were the best colour. I think we might have to use the smaller red ones, because this is... I'm going to have to rewind off this. This is ridiculous. Yeah, that's not going to work. But yeah, the wall's nice and smooth. You're not going to get caught by any sticky outy bits. Anyway, I'm going to go and investigate my car park. I'm not sure how I've done this. It's the entrance around here. Yeah, there we go. So, ground level. These hatchings worked. That was the other thing. On the second level, the hatchings were below ground level. So, yeah. And they go all fuzzy with the anti-aliasing. Anyway. And of course that building doesn't snap. So yeah, the lights worked on this level. The other thing is I couldn't put down any electric car spaces because they were trying to put themselves back to front and refused to follow any kind of logic. But then, anyway. Level 2 is much the same, except yeah, the lights, I only managed to get one of them to snap, and I couldn't, for the life of me, get these stripes to line up here. So, yeah, it just doesn't really work. It's good to have some more snappable things, though. I think snappable ground surface, like snappable concrete ground covering, is priceless. What we do need to be able to, though, I think a few people have said this, the only major feature that's missing is to be able to group a load of objects and copy and paste them, like you can in liveries, for example. Because if you could take a whole level of car park and copy and paste it upwards, it would be amazing. But yeah, it'd save so much time on all building. Let's see if we can... Come on, Aston, be it. Be a car from a famous movie that... Yes. Yeah, sort of. So yeah, that's a first look at the car park props. I wouldn't recommend trying to build car parks out of them, but they are quite good as a surface. So, a quick test to see in theory if this will work. First of all, let's try just cutting the corner quite closely. Perfect. And then, if we go across these... I mean, it sort of has a sausage curb effect. I mean, in reality, they flip cars over. But as long as we're not getting... Okay, that's... I was going to say, as long as we're not getting completely beached on them. Then the idea is you don't actually hit them. They're supposed to prevent you from cutting corners. I'm not sure what I think, though. Because if you get them wrong... No, that's kind of what I want. Them to kind of put you up in the air like that, but not really affect you. Okay. I'm going to have some great fun building some tracks with these, actually. They look pretty good as well. They look like the real deal. Not sure how people are going to feel about them in a track for an actual racing series. But anyway, I was hoping to create something here in the stadium anyway, using the new build stub that sort of goes through here and makes use of some of the perimeter road, I suppose, as well, outside of there. So, yeah, hopefully something cool coming soon. I will put more time into this than I have for building car parks today, though, but hopefully it'll give us something more useful at the end of it. Because I don't really know what you're going to do with a car park in Event Lab, other than make a cool drift place. Yeah, some of the things are going to be useful for building tracks going forward, I think. So, there we go. That's a very first look at all 57 new props as part of Series 17 here on Forza Horizon 5. Yeah, all car park themed, but ironically, the hardest thing to build with them is probably a car park. Like I say, the flat surface and the curbs are going to be the most useful, as well as some of the painted lines on the ground for me, for building circuits and things, which is generally the sort of thing I like to build in Event Lab so that we can use them in our racing series. So yeah, I think they're going to be more useful for that than for car parks, but if you want to build a car park, by all means give it a go, but I'm just going to warn you, it is quite difficult. But yeah, really good to see another major Event Lab update. Like I say, the only tool we really need now is to be able to group things together and copy and paste them. That would be absolutely incredible now that we can save and all of that, but don't forget Event Lab has come very far away since the game first came out. But yeah, I think that's the most exciting bit of this update, if I'm honest. I mean, I am very much looking forward to driving the new Nissan Z when that comes out in the playlist. But I think if they hadn't done the Event Lab update as well as one new car, it might have been just disappointing to get just the Nissan. Still not loads in this update, but yeah, a few cool new props, so do go and give them a look if you haven't already, and hopefully I'll be back with another video building some kind of racetrack containing some of the new curbing and painted lines and concrete soon. But for now, for today's video, that is going to be all. So thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with the next video very soon.